Welcome to the shooting show. This week, it's the last of the roe doe season and we're up in Scotland finishing off the doe cull.
Stalking a new patch of ground here. The road down the middle. I know the north side of it. I don't know this south side particularly well. Had a scout out yesterday around the far end of it and got absolutely piss wet through. Certainly on the outside. Again, the park killer's pretty good at turning the water, but it was miserable. Rain pounding in your face. Saw two does, so it's fighting the wind a little bit really to try and get around onto the far side of everything. I'm going to continue down here and hopefully there's some glade areas that sort of open out pretty much like this sort of blondie coloured dead grass with sort of heather on the tops, and there's an awful lot of tree margins in one area with a sort of a river or stream running through the bottom. So hopefully I'm going to get into that area. Got enough charge on the phone. Headlight, because you know it's 3:30 now. I'm going to run out of daylight probably sort of 6, half 6, and I imagine it's probably going to take me a couple of hours to get to the bottom end of this ground. So even if I tease myself out without anything, it's going to take me a fair while. But if I'm lucky enough to shoot something, then I'm going to have to, I don't know, really pull the stops out to get everything extracted and done tonight. I keep getting these little snow flurries, which is probably a sign that where yesterday it was raining, it's that cold that the bit of rain that is coming down is turning into these small sort of sleety snow droplets. So yeah, definitely going to be looking for an area where deer are going to be out of the wind. I would imagine fairly close to the trees, and they'll just be keeping warm, particularly roe deer. Ooh. Well, it's been difficult. Very cold weather, very awkward on the wind, but there's a good mature doe down there, and a buck kid. To be fair, it is a little bit late in the season. You would expect, possibly that buck to be fine, but it's tough ground up here. It's snowing here anyway, and if he'd made his way off and disappeared, I'd have left him be. But he came out, and he was obviously quite sort of distressed at seeing his mum drop. He was calling, and he was basically stood over her. So I took the decision, based on the cull figures that we have on this piece of land, to take him. So I'm just going to get myself in there and get these growlacks and dear. Self-filming is a challenge sometimes, but you see me bipod's toppled up on me, the harness that I use to carry my camera. There we go. Couple of growlacks to do, and then tease myself out, because I'm about a couple of miles into this ground, so I probably won't be done until dark. Job sorted. Lovely. final morning. We ended up with one doe. We had a few deer moving about on that river banking. There's a couple escaped as they crossed the river and ended up onto the far side, which isn't your piece. We saw 4 this morning that gave us a little bit of a run around, but then managed to get round. They disappeared down onto the banking, and we got into position, and a couple of otters giving us a bit of chitter and chatter.
Yeah, dog was quite interested in them, but yeah, we've got a good farmland doe, good beasting, good condition, plenty of fat on the kidneys, so in excellent condition. Good round up for the weekend. So.
Yeah. Well, after my sort of wet outing on my patch of ground, and then just seeing the 2 and not being able to get the wind right, and bits and bobs of snow, and then sort of nearly getting stuck in the forest and on a piece of ground I don't know too well, worrying about getting back to the vehicle and the track and everything, and then having to get round the far side to then come down the slope with the headlight on to do the sort of final extraction on the 2. I don't think my closing piece to camera was particularly good. Headlight on, shivering and cold and everything, but still managed to get 2 good deer in the larder that day, and we've got another beast now, so you know, it's been productive.
Yeah, well done, mate.
Good stuff.
Yeah, well done.
Stuart there, putting the Haenel rifle to good use, and now it's the Shooting Show News.
This is the Shooting Show News. There's a Browning 725 Sporter up for grabs at the Clay Shooting Classic, taking place on the 30th of May to the 3rd of June. Browning has confirmed it'll provide the high gun prize for the event at Southdown Gun Club for the 2nd year running. With aim cam glasses also boosting the prize pot for the high gun and class winners, the Classic prize fund now stands at around £20,000. Book your spot now using the entry form in Clay Shooting magazine, or call the number on screen now. The Home Office is pressing ahead with plans to make every shotgun or firearm certificate applicant pay extra for a medical report. Medical reports have been part of the licensing procedure for the last 2 years, when the Home Office agreed that a fee wouldn't be payable. But now, under pressure from the British Medical Association, the government is going back on its promise. The extra fee could increase the total cost of an application by more than half. Bask said this was a betrayal by the government. The Kelmarsh Country Show has been rescheduled for the 16th and 17th of June after it was called off yesterday and today. Exceptional volumes of rain meant there was partial flooding throughout the site and car parks, and organisers said they made the tough decision with a heavy heart to cancel the show. But they quickly announced that the show would go ahead on the new dates. Check out the Kelmarsh website for more updates. And finally, shooting organisations are speaking out in defence of mountain hare culling after animal rights groups published a video in protest against it. Bask Scotland director Dr Colin Shedden said in much of upland Scotland the mountain hare population is either stable or increasing, and compared their culling to the control of red deer in Scotland. Tim Baines, director of the Scottish Moorland Group, said animal rights activists opposing mountain hare control have no interest in managing the balance of species and habitat on Scotland's heather moorland. That was the Shooting Show News.
Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And if you're not a member of Bask, it's time to join now. Bask, looking after your sport, looking after you. This has been The Shooting Show.